That's right. It's another edition of Talkin' Track right here, a production of the Big Play Sports Network and my racehorse. He is Ryan Stillman. I am Matt Fontana. So happy to have you alongside. And Ryan, I know it's cold right now, but we're going to warm everybody up just a little bit as we start the discussion and the trail towards the Kentucky Derby. We'll get that. I'm excited for today's show, Ryan. You have some games that we're going to play today. I don't even know about them. So we'll get to those coming up. And another great interview coming up later in the show as well, as you sit down and talk a little bit with some people around the area, around horse racing and all that. So we'll get to that coming up here on the show. But Ryan, to warm everybody up just a little bit, Kentucky Derby, we're 6 months away, but we're going to be there before you know it.
Matt, great intro. It's so good to be here with you. And I'm excited to talk about the Kentucky Derby. It's the biggest race in the world. And December is when people really start focusing on who their next Kentucky Derby winning pick is going to be. So I think that's what we need to talk about today on this entire show, Matt. And I'm really excited. So I'm going to play a game with you right now. Ryan, do you have the cue for the theme song, my man?
Picking a winner's not as hard as you think. It's time to play a game called Name and Rank.
I'm interested. I don't even know. Ryan's got this game. The Ryans have this set up. Take it away, Ryan Stillman. Tell me what exactly we're going to be doing. Name the rank there.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to talk about this because maybe if you're newer to the game, you don't know this, but they say there has never been a Kentucky Derby winner who has a bad name. And they also say you have just as good of a chance of picking the Kentucky Derby winner, just picking your favorite name as you do following the form all year like I do. So I'm going to show Matt my top 12 Kentucky Derby horses, but I'm going to do it in alphabetical order first. And I'm just going to ask you, Matt, pick your favorite three names here, because that's as good of a way to find the Kentucky Derby winner as what I'm doing. So we'll start there. What three names stick out to you as the best three?
Run through them. Admiral Dennis, Barnes, Bullard, Chancer McPatrick, early leader, Citizen Bull, East Avenue, Ferocious, First Resort, Gaming, Patch Adams, love the movie, Rated by Merit, and Sovereignty. Okay, so Chancer McPatrick has got to be number one. I mean, how could that list not be number one for Chancer McPatrick? Ferocious sounds like a name like, you're angry. You're going to get after that. Citizen Bull, absolutely. I like. Admiral Dennis, I like the naval, the admiral part here. Sovereignty rate. Okay, so here's number one, Chancer McPatrick is number one. I think I'm going to go Admiral Dennis at number two. I like that one a lot. We'll go Citizen Bull 3, then Ferocious.
Okay, that's actually perfect right there.
Leave it right there. Stop right there. Those are my top four.
If you're betting the Derby, the superfecta, that would be what you would be betting.
Give me those four.
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Now, let's walk this down really quickly. Okay. Right. Chancer McPatrick, you picked. Now, this is great, Matt. This is fantastic because some people, when this horse debuted, were like, that's an awesome horse with the worst name. I'm in your camp. I love that name.
It's a great name.
He's actually if I was just going names, my wife feels the same way. Why was the reason for Chancer McPatrick being your number one, brother?
I mean, McPatrick, when you add in any of the Irish flair, you got to love that. Chancer, instead of just chance, is a little bit better, and it just feels like you have a chance to win the race. I like it. Chancer McPatrick. That's perfect.
Honestly, what's great is the guy who owns him has Irish heritage, and he just loved it because of that exact reason you broke down the name. That's exactly what he wanted you to get from it. Okay. Ferocious. I think you said Admiral Dennis would be your second one, right?
Dennis. I like Admiral Dennis a lot.
What hits you so strongly about that horse? What's the name give you?
The naval part, doesn't everybody want to be cool to say you're an admiral? You command a ship. You're part of it. I think an admiral, don't they command a fleet of ships? Is that not what an admiral is? I just like that title that you would get as an admiral.
I love that too. Okay, and let me. Who were the last two again, Matt?
I'll go Citizen. Yeah, I'll go Citizen Bull. Citizen Kane feeling, I don't know, and then I'll go Ferocious. I just like little spice to it with Ferocious there.
I love these reasonings, just as good as any, honestly. So let's talk about your least favorite three names on this list.
All right, pull them back up.
Which three are you? Yeah, what would you say?
All right, So let's go. Bullard just kind of is nothing for me. Barnes probably the same thing, and then Gaming. Though Barnes, Bullard, Gaming, and I'll give you one more. First Resort. First Resort. Those would be my bottom 4.
Matt, I got to be honest with you. I think First Resort is a great one to throw up there too. I think we have similar ones there. I'm not digging Bullard. I'm not digging a few of those. I'm surprised about the gaming one though, Matt. That's your entire career.
I am a gamer. I like playing video games. I don't know, gamer. It's something a little spicier there. I like a little spice to it there.
I think your reasonings are just as good as mine. So that's what's great about this is if like you're new to horse racing, these horses right now that are on this list, they're 2 years old. When this year ends, all of them turn 3. That's the way it is. Technically they're not 3, all of them, but they're all 3 next year. So right now, bro, how do I explain this? I would say that these horses, it's like they're in junior high. Okay. Next year, they're going to be in high school, college. And Matt, that basically the kid in high school that is tearing it up out there on the football field, but he doesn't put in the work. He's just athletically built. The next year when the kid that's like practicing every day catches up to him, he's done. You know what I mean? We've seen that is that big of a discrepancy for these horses between now and the first Saturday in May when the Derby is won, right? So I'm going to show you the way I rank them, but they're not ranked necessarily based only on their promise. I have to rank them on what they've done first, then promise, because some guys have earned their rank at the top. And I'm going to give them their due. This is going to be changing on my list in the future, but let's put it up. And you did a very good job because some of the names you love, like Citizen Bull, boom. Right? I mean, that was your boy. He was in your top 4.
So that's number a good 2. He was number 2 for me. I like it. But then Ferocious and Chancer McPatrick down. Admiral Dennis only at 6. That's a tough one there. So Citizen Bull and Gaming, 1-2 for you there, Ryan. And obviously it's not just off the name, but talk to me about some of them. Is it that situation again where there's somebody out to lead right now? You like the work that they're putting in, and you just like the potential for a lot of these sorts. So you said there's so much time between now and then, but these are the ones getting off to, pardon the pun on the horse racing, off to the right foot here, or hoof, I guess, that they're off to the right little step here, and you kind of like what you see out of them for the Derby.
Matt, that is perfect. That is exactly what I'm saying here. So Citizen Bull, I'm going to try to maybe let's do a football analogy here. So high school, like state championship in Texas, right? Or something like he's the quarterback on the team, Citizen Bull. He has won the championship. I don't know how well he's going to do in college, but for this, he's the number 1 quarterback in high school in the nation so far. He's going to be the 2-year-old champion. They have a race every year, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He won it. And the horse that came in second was Gaming. And honestly, that's why those 2 are ranked 1-2. They're the top 2. Now, the horse in 3 is the one if I was just going potential-wise, would put number 1, East Avenue. This horse looks like a beast. His mom is a sister to last year's Horse of the Year, Cody's Wish. He's bred beautifully. And honestly, dude, I wish I had a picture. I'll bring it next time. He looks really unique. He's got he just has a funky look to him. And he looks like a rock star. He's blown away his competition. And I love him next year. If there's a horse on this list that could be an American Pharaoh type, he's one of them. He really looks special. At the championship race, he was the most exciting horse in it. He stumbled at the start and just lost. He finished 9th of 10. But honestly, Matt, what's crazy in racing is a horse can stumble and never come back the same. It's just all these. So let's see how he does next year. I can't put him first. He didn't win the big race, but potential-wise, he's there. And I'll just talk about my 4th horse, Sovereignty. Honestly, this horse debuted, he finished 4th, and he was the kind of guy where it's okay, I don't like him right now, but as we progress down the trail to the Derby, I love this horse, Matt. I absolutely love him. He has the number 1 trainer from last year in the United States, Bill Mott, training him. His connections are the richest man almost in the world, the ruler of Dubai. He is just royally bred. And so if you're out there and you're like, who's a future wager to put down? He's not a sneaky pick, but he's one that I would keep an eye on. Later in the show, though, Matt, at the end of this, I'm going to give out a horse who hasn't even debuted yet, who I think could be a serious Kentucky Derby considered horse. So stay tuned for that. But that's my top 12 right there. And you did great. Chancer McPatrick, I love that pick. I consider him a horse to look forward to seeing next time because he just didn't show up in the championship race, but he'd been great there. And Ferocious is an interesting horse, Matt. This horse cost $1.3 million or something like that. He was a buzz horse. Everyone in the industry wanted him. He's just kind of not fully lived up to the hype, but he's one, just like we talked about kids developing. I really could see becoming a better horse next year. So you did great on your picks, man. I think I'm just going to have to run picks by you because you're doing very well as far as potential goes.
If you looked at my bets on the NBA and the NFL, Ryan, I don't know if those are picks you want to be necessarily making. But, finally, quickly on this, before we get to our interviews coming up, you've got a blueprint, right? Like when you've seen the successful horses that have run the Kentucky Derby, Triple Crown, all that, you know what they should look like at this point of their career, at this point of the year. And that's kind of, just tell everybody, that's what helps give you kind of a base when you look at these other horses to say, like you said, going back to the football analogy, we know what some top quarterbacks looked like in high school and in college. It translated the success to the pros. The same thing goes as horse racing. You know kind of where these horses should be or what they should look like at this point.
You said it exactly right. And what I look for, if you're just wondering, is I love a horse who can make a very athletic move on the far turn in a race. You're going to have to do that at Churchill Downs. Actually, as we get down the road here, I'm going to give you a list of things that I look for the Kentucky Derby winner. My mentor, John White, created a list of things that have predicted basically out of 50 derbies, 47 correctly. So we're going to go into all that, but it's great. But for right now, yeah, you want to, the best guy in high school is not necessarily the best guy in college. And that's where we're at, bro, for sure.
For sure. A lot of time to go. Well, let's sit on down. You got a chance to talk to Aaron Halterman of Racing Dudes. You guys actually sat down to watch 3 races together and get Aaron's expert opinion on some of those. So here's Ryan sitting down with Aaron Halterman of the Racing Dudes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my exclusive interview with Aaron Halterman of the Racing Dudes. Now, in my opinion, Aaron is one of the greatest handicappers in the game. Guys like John White listen to and ask about his picks. He runs one of the best websites in racing, in my opinion, personally, the best website in racing. The Racing Dudes cover all aspects of the game. Aaron, would you like to talk about what you guys do more specifically for people not familiar with you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the introduction. I don't know how truthful that is, but I do appreciate the compliments, Ryan. We racingdudes.com. I always tell people that are in like the sports world, we're kind of the ESPN for horse racing. We kind of cover all angles of it, whether it be podcasts, just regular YouTube videos, free picks for every track, of course, subscriptions for as well if you want to get kind of more detailed into it. So we kind of cover everything, every aspect, every track, every day. That's kind of our separator from the other places. We'll cover them all. So yeah, it's a great website started by 2 fans of racing back about 15 years ago now, believe it or not. And here we are today. And like I said, thank you for having me on. It should be fun.
I'm really excited to talk to you because, as you know, Kentucky Derby is right around the corner. Even though it's 6 months away, there's never a better time to talk Derby than December when things start to really amp up. And over the weekend, actually since Wednesday, there have been a trio of performances that have the racing world buzzing and talking. So thought we'd have you on today to dissect the 3 biggest racing performances we've seen from the upcoming Kentucky Derby juvenile horses.
Sounds good. And really this time of year is a great time of year to do it because we kind of have the headlining horses, the horses that won the Breeders' Cup, like you talked about on previous shows. But this is really the time of year where you kind of get the under the radar types, the types that maybe not everybody's talking about. We had 3 really nice performances over the weekend, Ryan. So I think it's good timing. And look, we may talk about these horses and they become Kentucky Derby, maybe not the winner, but major contenders. And maybe we look at a month later and we're like, well, we missed on those 3. That's kind of the nature of the beast right now. We're just kind of in that feeling out process. But these are 3 that are pretty exciting prospects, I should say. So I'm pretty excited to talk about them.
Well, let's start with the fairy tale horse of the group, Rated by Merit. Here we are. We're going to be watching a replay of the In Reality Stakes, which ran on November 30th, 2024. And the horse you're going to watch is the horse in the green and sort of, I think it's a white, no, green. Yeah, green and white silks over there. And he is on the rail and he gets to the front right away. Right, Aaron?
Yep. Number 1 is Rated by Merit there, who you're going to want to look. And right away, he breaks very sharply. He gets to the front. This is what you want to do on dirt racing in the United States. You want to be a horse that's a little bit more forwardly placed. You don't want to be headstrong. You don't want to be going crazy. But look how just nice and easy he is. He didn't really have to work for it. And now he's got a nice lead there. And he's just kind of cruising around. That very picture perfect start for him. That's kind of what he's able to do. And then look at him now. He's clear to the other horses. He's nice and relaxed. And he's in a really, really good spot.
It was interesting watching this live, Aaron, because part of me thought someone's going to want to go with this horse and maybe get into a speed duel. And I wonder if that didn't happen because they thought maybe this horse can't get 2 turns. So he sort of found himself in a perfect position. And when I was watching, I thought if he's any good from here, he should really win this race today.
Yeah, what I said earlier, it's like that when you go to 2 turns, it does kind of separate the sprinters, the horses that like to go 6 furlongs, which is 3/4 of a mile versus a mile and 16th. And right here, this is kind of the spot in each race when a horse is stretching out, where if they start to fade a little bit, start to get caught a little bit, you're going to get worried. But you can tell he's got plenty in the tank. Here comes the 7 Classic, of course, who was kind of the main threat in this race, coming up to him. And look at the number 1 rated by Merritt. They never even get the whip out on him. The jockey's just kind of moving his hands. Now they'll kind of give him one reminder and look at him kick on. And I mean, he's got plenty left in the tank, and that's good news. You see they're going to just ride him kind of hard down the stretch, but he's pulling away. He's showing tons of energy. This was the big kind of the last 16th of a mile or the last 1/8 of the mile. That's what I really wanted to see in this race. I knew he was a good horse at 3/4 or at 7/8. But can he stretch out, and will he finish with that same energy? And the answer was yes. And that was the big test that he kind of passed in this race, Ryan. He kind of showed us, and look at the gallop out here. He's full of energy. He kind of showed us, hey, I can go a little bit longer. He was supposed to beat these horses, right? But if he beats them by like a length or a half length, or if it gets close in the stretch, I'm going to sit here and go, okay, he won, but it's not going to work. But look at how he's pulling away from this horse. And that shows me he's got another gear. He's not getting tired. That's the signs you need to see when a horse is taking on weaker company to make you think, hey, when he faces tougher company, he's still going to be able to get the job done.
All right, Aaron. This year, Brad Cox looks loaded for the Kentucky Derby. I mean, honestly, wouldn't you say that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would say at this very second, probably the horse most people are talking about is the horse that won on the Stars of Tomorrow card over at Churchill Downs on Saturday, Patch Adams. All right. So this is the race. Saturday, race 5, Churchill Downs Stars of Tomorrow card. He's the number 7, and they are off. Right away, you can notice him in those familiar white Windstar silks right in the center of your screen, Aaron. What do you think of his start?
Yeah, he's sitting there in second, and he gets out of the gate well. You've got to get out of the gate well. And then you kind of just see once he gets out there, gets a position, they're kind of just letting him kind of free run here. There's a couple horses that'll get ahead of him, but he's in a good spot. And much like rated by Merritt, we talked about a minute ago, this horse is just really relaxed. He's fast, but he's relaxed. They're not having to push him. And you kind of see the jockey standing up, moving his hands slightly, but he kind of is just waiting for his cue at this point, stalking in a really good position here. And right now, boom, he kind of asked him a little bit, and there he goes. He's starting to engage with those horses. He's starting to get going. And at this point, you got to feel like the happiest guy in the world if you're the jockey, because you know you got a handful of horse. He's going to come up right next to the 5 in this one, who was kind of the second choice and maybe the main threat. The threat's over right here. One little shake, and he's gone. And you're just going to see him explode down the stretch and put on a show for us, especially as they get closer to the wire, which tells me he wants to go a little bit longer. Boom, watch that. One strike, and then bam, he's gone. That's what you want him to do. The horse listened to the jockey every step of the way, and he's responding to this light urging now. And look at this. He's just, with every stride, he's burying that field.
Wow. And honestly, we talk all the time, you and I, and winning at Churchill Downs, some horses can't do it. It's just a track that you either love or you hate. And it looks like, even on this gallop out, he absolutely loves the track, doesn't he?
Yeah, and how good is that to love the track where they run the Kentucky Derby, right? That's always a relief. You get one out there. There's one we'll talk about in a minute that I don't think like the track at all, so that could be bad going forward. Still one. But anyway, back to Patch Adams, and then look at this. Again, we talked about rated by Merritt and the gallop out. Look at this horse. You can tell, hey, we went a one-turn race here. We didn't go very far. I can go a heck of a lot farther is what he's telling you when he gallops out like this. And again, just a thing of beauty to look back and say, man, this horse, it was pretty effortless, and he just dominated these horses that are full out behind him.
Okay, now we come to our third horse, and this horse, by far, the performance is the most polarizing, but also this horse was hyped before it ever stepped onto the track. And of course, I'm talking about Barnes, a $3.2 million horse for Bob Baffert. And, you know, look, he names this horse after his assistant trainer, Jimmy Barnes. And immediately, I think that immediately, Aaron, got the world very hyped about this horse. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in racing professionally for about 15 years now, and I will get text messages from friends and people I've known over, met over the years about certain horses. Get two or three if one's really good. Everybody in my phone that was a horse racing person would text me, "Oh, look out for Barnes! Look out for Barnes!" And this was like 2 or 3 months before he even debuted. So this horse has been the most heavily hyped horse of the season, without any doubt. And I think everybody was ready to see like a 20-length victory here. It's not what we got, but we did see something I think that was pretty damn good.
All right, here is the biggest debut from a horse we've seen in quite a while as far as hype. Barnes, he's the 3. Jumps out right there. Let's talk about it, Aaron.
Yeah, he jumps out, and I think, he's probably thinking, I'll go as fast as I can here and get the lead. That's what Baffert's like to do. But look what happens. The 6 Innovator, along with the 4, kind of press him against the rail. So this is a horse making his first ever start, and all of a sudden he's in tight on the rail behind horses. This is a disaster. This is not what you want for a first-time starter. You kind of want to be where this 11 is right here with a first-time starter. On the outside, not pinned in, not running in behind horses. I thought Barnes did a really good job to kind of turn it off a little bit, relax, and then boom, there it is. He's got the open lane now, and I'm saying, okay, now he's going to go get Innovator. But watch what he does. He drifts out a little bit. He's starting to wander, and then he switches over to his wrong lead. He's leading with his left foot instead of his right foot. That's not good. You want to be leading on the right foot. And look how funny he looks. That's because he's on the wrong lead. He's all over the place. He does catch him right at the wire. He did everything right as far as settling down early in the race, because a lot of times when a first-time starter gets pinned in like that, they kind of go nuts and they bore out and they try to get up to the lead. He did everything right. And then when he got mid-stretch, he did everything wrong as far as being on the wrong lead, drifting in and out, not really being focused. He still got the job done, even though he made a lot of mistakes down the stretch.
So I think immediately, if you're a new fan watching this, I honestly think this. Like, imagine, Aaron, you don't watch racing every day. I don't think you're impressed with this. Honestly, like, the hands up. Like, imagine you don't know what you're watching, and I say, you got to see this horse. He's the second coming of Pharaoh. But that's not the whole story here. So why don't we talk about this second place horse? Because I think a lot of what this comes down to for somebody is how good was the horse he just beat. Innovator for Lucas. What do we know about it?
Yeah, scroll back just a minute, or scroll back to the first. I'll kind of show you the lead thing when it happens while I'm talking. But yeah, we'll talk about Innovator for a second here. So this was a race full of first-time starters, basically, except for the number 6 Innovator for Hall of Fame trainer D. Wayne Lucas, and of course the trainer of Seize the Gray for my racehorse. But this is a horse that had been kind of average in all of his starts. Not bad, but not great. He showed up with the race of his life. He improved by about 10 lengths in this race, and it shows because these two horses are 10 lengths clear of everybody else. So say right here, I'll kind of look at it again. He's talking about Barnes. He's going to get past the 4. Well, if Innovator runs his normal race, once Barnes gets past the 4, he's out by himself. But since Innovator ran so well and so hard and so fast, he beat him to the punch. And that, like I said, that is really tough for a 2-year-old first-time starter to handle. And right here, you can see he kind of relaxes. And that's when he kind of won the race, because if he chases, he's going to get tired and he's not going to be able to do it. He relaxed, and that was good. He waited for his cue, and then they kind of gave it to him here, like, okay, you got to go get him. And then in the stretch, you see right now, right, he's running on his right lead. That's what you want to do. He changes leads perfectly. I'm going to right there. He switches off to the other one. You see how he jolts out to the right? That's because he switched his switched over to his left lead, and that killed all his momentum. Look at him. He did it again. And so I think he wins this race by about a length if he's not green. But since he was so kind of green down the lane and inexperienced, it made it a lot tighter than it was. And the reason why he was so far away from Innovator is because he was kind of flip-flopping in the stretch. And you're almost kind of, when you do that, you're running in quicksand a little bit. And so he just couldn't. He was trying. He just couldn't make up the ground. The horse, I don't think, was tired or anything like that. He just couldn't get there. So I think here's the deal. He could have debuted and won by 15 lengths with no competition, but he didn't. He had to run really hard to beat a decent horse. I think he'll get a ton out of this race. I think he'll improve because of this race. I think this is almost in a way better than having just a really easy start.
Well, Aaron, I think this was extremely helpful. I'm grateful for your time. I want to ask everybody to go check out racingdudes.com. I mean it. There is not a better website for racing in the entire world. If you love betting, it's a great place to even start, and you will get so hooked it'll be your only place. I use it myself. I stand by it. Aaron, you're seriously the best. Thank you for your time today, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Anytime. And yeah, good luck with your show. You're doing great so far.
Thank you, Aaron.
Great stuff there with Aaron, just getting a chance to watch the races and get going, and we're starting to gear up. I know, again, it doesn't feel like it's racing season right now, but it's certainly there. So Ryan Stillman, Matt Fontana here on Talkin' Track, Big Play, and the My Racehorse crew here. So now, Ryan, you've got another game set up, ready to go. What the bleep?
Yeah, let's play the cue, Ryan. Let's hit him with the theme song here.
It's time to play What the did that horseman say?
All right.
All right, here we go.
Right.
I'm excited.
No, I'm pumped about this because you know nothing about this fully. And I think, so I want to make this show accessible to people that don't know racing as well. So let's get to know a trainer today. Let's get to know one of the greatest of all time. Ryan, throw up that picture of Shug McGahee, would you? This is Shug McGahee, Matt. Have you ever seen this man?
I'm not, but I like the vest. Makes you think of the Masters in golf, and I just love the name. How can you not deny that name there?
You can't deny it. Now, just to give you some background on him, this is a guy who's won a Kentucky Derby, and he's trained some of the greatest horses of all time. Actually, in the 80s, he trained a horse that won undefeated, which is like unheard of in horse racing. So you're talking about a master. He's also one of the gentlemen of horse racing, one of the most beloved guys, never has bad things to say. So I want to get you to get to know him and also kind of teach you a little bit about racing. So I thought we'd play a game. We're going to listen to a clip about Shug, talking about something race related. I'm going to bleep out the word, Matt.
All right.
You're going to have to guess what it is. And then maybe if there is anything to teach from it, I'll explain it. Maybe there won't be, but why don't we go? So let's hit him with the first one, Ryan. Let's hit him clip one, and we'll see if you can guess it first.
If you get him in a good flow and just galloping along and doesn't do anything crazy, then probably will all day.
Oh, okay. All right. Ryan, can you hit me again with it?
You know, if you get him in a good flow and just galloping along and doesn't do anything crazy, then probably will all day.
Probably
all right.
will do.
What's he going to do all day, Matt? This is what we want to know. What?
My first thought was like sprint all day or run all day, something like that. Those sprint, run, one of those two kind of words there. That's the one I'm going to go with there.
Okay, Ryan, hit him with the answer. Let's hear.
If you get him in a good flow and just galloping along and doesn't do anything crazy, then probably will run all day.
Yeah, nice. That's one. Nice.
One down. This is why I'm not betting you on it. You're like a Shug whisperer. Very good. Very good job here. Okay, yeah. So, okay, what's this about? Maybe I'll bring it down to with racing. You want a horse to get into a good rhythm, right? Like if they're in a good rhythm, they just kind of pick that tempo up and they can motor home. It's just like, think about a train, right? If the train's not moving correctly. So yeah, get him in a good rhythm, good flow, galloping, he'll run all day. I'm not going to break all these down, but good job,
sure,
Matt.
I appreciate it. That's one for one. We're off to a good start.
1 for 1. Let's see how you do on clip 2. Play it, Ryan.
You know, we're finishing second, third, and fourth, and that kind of stuff. I just felt like I needed to things up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So this could go a lot of ways. What's he gonna? So he's finishing second, third, fourth, and that kind of stuff. He feels like he needs to bleep things up a little bit. What's he? Is he angry? What's he?
I would say shake.
Do?
I think it's got to be. You got to shake it up, right? Got to
Ryan,
shake things up.
Hit him with it, Ryan. Hit him.
You know, we're finishing second, third, and fourth, and that kind of stuff. I just felt like I needed to shake things up a little bit.
2 for 2. Nice. Nice.
It's like you and Shug are like spirit animals or something. I don't know. You're reading.
Future in horse racing. You never know.
you honestly, you're picking the right horses. All right, here we go. Clip 3.
He was a nice horse. He just he used to hit his. We never could really get him to stop it. Kind of curtailed his career a little bit.
All right, hit his blank and kind of. And, okay. My first thought was hit his stride, but then I also thought about hit the wall because then he talked about it derailed his career. I'm going to say, lock in my answer, he hit the wall a little bit.
Let's play it, Ryan.
That's a nice horse. He just he used to hit his ankle. We never could really get him to stop it. Kind of curtailed his career a little bit.
Darn.
Very tough one. No shame in this. That was
sure.
a tough one. Yeah, so sometimes I guess a horse can just hit his front foot with his back foot and it derails him. We talked about getting that rhythm, but no shame in there. That was a pretty good guess based on no context, never meeting this man. I'm impressed, Matt, to even go 2 for 2. So let's see if you can go 3 for 5 here or 4 for 5. Come on, hit him with the next one.
And he came back and threw his arms up. He said, I thought we were going to win. And then this big came lumbering along and beat us.
Then this
Tough one there because is he frustrated?
Yeah.
Is he super upset?
This big guy came along. Big horse.
Let's play it.
He kind of came back and threw his arms up. He said, I thought we were going to win. And then this big thing came lumbering along and beat us.
I'm giving it to you. I'm giving that to you.
I'll take 4 out of 5. I will take 4 out of 5.
Because, yeah, 1,000%. And the other one is a free toss-up. That was the hardest one. Let's play clip 5. You're doing fantastic.
I think he belongs. And, if he good, I think he'll be laying up pretty close. Just let him kind of gallop along there and see if he'll finish.
I might need it one more time, Ryan. Hit me one more time.
I think he belongs. And, if he good, I think he'll be laying up pretty close. Just let him kind of gallop along there and see if he'll finish.
That's a tough.
So let's sort of like dissect this. Well, I get you. So
All
I think he belongs. If he blanks good, I think he'll be laying pretty close. Just let him kind of gallop along there and see if he'll finish. So if he blanks good,
I think if he starts good, it's what it's got to be, right? Got to get out of the gate.
Let's hear it.
Start.
I think he belongs, and if he breaks good, I think he'll be laying up pretty close. Just let him kind of gallop along there and see if he'll finish.
Horse racing turn break.
Now hold on. Did you look like you thought you blew it in that one?
I mean, close. I would say start
no,
break,
you
but
got
it's the
it.
same thing, right?
It.
Yeah.
You got it. It's exactly that. So if he breaks well, like those gates, like you see them spring open, that's what they call that breaking from the gate. So I'm going to give it to you. Like that's just another term for it. Dude, you went 4 for 5 with Suge, bro. I thought I was going to give you some tough ones. Clearly, you've been sneaking around and talking to trainers behind my back. That's what I think's happening here. Is that what you've been doing on the side, bro?
Perfect. Yeah, I got to get prepped for the show. Got to get ready to go. 4 out of 5 is the name of the game right there.
Well, I'm super proud of you. And that's Suge McGahee, true gentleman of the sport. We're going to look for him on the Derby Trail. And I think it's time to try to make the viewers some money. A little bit of money on the show. How do you feel about that?
Oh, we always like that. That's one of the things we're doing here. We got plenty of races left in 2024 as well.
All right, let's walk this one down, if you don't mind, my man.
Sure.
So the Derby Trail to the racing in the Kentucky Derby, it's sort of, if you're new to the game, you might not know how it works. You probably think you just show up. No, you have to qualify and earn your way in through a series of point races, okay? So on the screen right now, as Ryan's just thrown up there, these are the 4 remaining point prep races left in 2024 for the 2025 Kentucky Derby. The first one is this Saturday, the Remsen. And I want to talk about this race because I think it's absolutely the most exciting to me of the 4 left. Okay. So last year's Remsen, 2 horses came out of it that are worth noting. One is a horse named Dornoch. He won the Belmont Stakes. I mean, you know the Belmont, right, Matt?
Yeah, we know Dornoch, yeah.
The other horse who came out of it was Sierra Leone. He lost the Kentucky Derby by a nose. So what I'm saying is this race it's starting to produce some very nice horses for the Kentucky Derby. So since it's this weekend, I thought I would explain who I'm going to pick and maybe who you could try to get some money picking or betting. So again, just so you understand this, the top 5 horses in this race are going to earn points. It's going to be 10 to the winner, 5 to the second place, 3 to the third, 2, 1, like you see up on the screen. Thanks, Ryan. That's how it's going to work here. And you have to earn your way there by accumulating points, right? The Kentucky Derby, you don't just get to show up. So a lot's on the line. So let's take a look at the field, Ryan. Would you toss that up for me, brother? Why don't we talk and do the exact same thing we did at the beginning of the show, just to see, come back next week, Matt. I thought this could be kind of fun. And you tell me, dude, this is exactly why you just got to listen to me on names. How would you rank these? This is not my ranking of them, by the way. These are like their post position.
Right.
Post 1, tax. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your top. Let's give you, because it's 7 horse field, let's give you the top 3. I'm going to give it to you, and let's see, rank them for me.
Okay, I'm going to say number 5 is an interesting name, Key Waden.
Yep.
Key Waden. So I'd probably go that one, Surfside Moon. Actually, I go 5, 6, 7. I go Key Waden, Surfside Moon, and Gun Trader would be my 3.
Boy, this is interesting. Okay. I'm really excited to talk to you. So let's see how you did. According to me, I think all of it's valid. But what's fascinating is we both have the same horse, number 1. I'm picking Key Waden. So, you know, I love this horse. What I like about him is I loved him on debut. He finished 3rd. He won his next race. And in that debut, so like, Matt, I don't know if it's the same for you with college, like, or any football sport. Like, let's like try to compare it for a sec. You ever watch a game where it's like early in the season and it was a tough fought game, and then both teams go on to beast, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize it at the time, but these are 2 really good teams. I didn't think it was like anything. Would you agree? You've seen that kind of situation?
I mean, right now we're at in college football, yeah, all the time, right? Exactly.
Okay, that is exactly how this horse's debut was. It's like there was some hype around these horses in the field. It's come back to be a tremendous field. That horse Sovereignty, I told you guys at the beginning of the show, came out of it. Key Waden was 3rd. The horse above him finished second, won his last race. The point is, I really like this horse. He's got a lot of class. He's coming out of races that are producing winners. He's my number 1. The horse that kind of worries me the next, it's really weird that I'm going to say this, is this horse number 3, Poster. Poster is a horse who has the greatest jockey in the United States, Flavian Pratt, on him, and he could have easily been on Key Waden. So, because he rode him in his first start. So I don't know why he's choosing this horse. Like, you know what I mean, Matt? It's like, why, you know, it's like, why is he going to this college versus this college? Maybe I should be a little concerned. This horse is one that I would throw on my tickets as well if you're like underneath. The horse from the rail, Tux. He's trainer Bill Mott. He won his last race. I really think this horse will improve next time out, bro. I just kind of think he's that kind of a trainer where if he wins a race, don't take their first race for how they're going to be, see how they develop. So Tux scares me. And lastly, as a long shot pick, I pick Studley Do Right. I don't know. I've kind of liked this horse. He's a hard knocking horse. He's got some sneaky numbers. He's polarizing. Some people hate him, some love him. But so I would go just to break it down for you guys. I'd go Key Waden, Poster, Tux, and my long shot pick to play underneath would be Studley Do Right. I love Surfside Moon and Gun Trader's things. I don't give him much of a chance as far as how I'm seeing it, but honestly, it's racing, crazier things that happen, and I'm not against it. Based on names alone, I agree with you. Gun Trader and Surfside Moon are where it's at. So listen, let's come back next week where we both on the same horse and see if names versus the ranks come down to the winner, because let's just prove everybody we're going to run a social science experiment. You've got to come back next week to see.
I love it. We'll see how it goes. Get those bets in as well coming up. Final thing for us today here, Ryan, a horse that you've not even seen, nobody has seen race yet, but a horse that you're a big fan of. Tell everybody who it is.
Okay, I'm really excited to talk about this. So Ryan, throw up a picture of this horse and then I'll give you the name. All right, San Saba. This is my guy. All right, Matt. Matt, the name, what do we feel about it?
I like it.
Honestly,
I like it. I like the 2 words in any name for a horse. Good-looking guy. Good-looking horse as well. I like it.
100% right. He's good-looking. How good-looking was he? He was so good-looking before he even raced, Matt. He cost $725,000. I mean, this is almost $1 million. He was a sales-topping horse. His trainer is a guy named Bob Baffert, who I'm sure you've heard of, right?
Yeah.
So Baffert, in case you guys are new to racing, who is that 6-time Kentucky Derby winning trainer? He's won 2 Triple Crowns. I mean, we'll just leave it there. So this horse is by a Triple Crown winner, Justify, who Baffert trained. And he's out of a horse I really love. His dam, the mom, her dad was a horse named Hardspun, who I absolutely loved. And so why do I like this horse? On December 2nd, he fired a bullet workout, meaning he was the best horse racing at the distance that day at Santa Anita. He was first of 37 horses working 5 furlongs. So he's showing me just in the morning, like he's that kid showing up to school, like overachieving. Like when all the kids are just getting there to practice, he's been practicing for an hour, you know? So could he suck? 100%. I mean, dude, there was a horse Baffert had named Bezos, like named after Jeff Bezos, who was like supposed to be the next coming of Secretariat. I don't even know if he ever won a race. So of course, but I want to give you guys out there that are like, who do I bet in the future pools? I just want to throw a random name out there. San Saba, one to look for, possibly debuting. And if he does debut, I will break down that debut on the show to see how wrong or right I was on it. I think that could be very fun.
Yeah,
so,
and I think it's super interesting to have that insight to know, again, horses that haven't raced and any of it, right? It's easy to there's potential with any of it, but really the ups and downs of it can happen. I just think it's really interesting that you're already up and in a horse like that so early on. Great stuff today. I want to remind everybody that My Racehorse horse is available. Perfect Impression, Spanx a Million, we did talk about on the last show, was still up there. Bleep Says Bye, available on My Racehorse. And Malibu Bonnie, I like that name as well. All of it at My Racehorse. So go to myracehorse.com or download the app and you get signed up and buy some of your shares there of any of the horses available. Ryan, great stuff today, as always, here on Talkin' Track. We'll be back. We had to recap that just on the names alone. So we did our picks, and we'll join everybody next time, presented here by our friends at Big Play and My Racehorse. I'm Matt Fontana, Ryan Stillman. We appreciate you joining us right here for Talkin' Track.